What's up, guys? This baby's so high I can't even see it. Anyways, we got another project here. We got the XLX2, if I'm holding that straight. We got the XMAXX. We're gonna rebuild this XMAXX to be super fast. That's what we're gonna put this guy into this XMAXX. But let's move this guy out of the way and let's talk about a little bit on the board what we're about to do here. So if you can see here, we got some of these words are being affected by these lights. So if you can't read it, it's okay. I'll just read it out to you. We're gonna rebuild the XMAXX. We're gonna try to make it 100+ miles per hour. We are gonna have to put some foam tires. So I am gonna be ordering some foam tires for this guy. And let me just let this camera focus because we're not getting any good lighting here. Maybe this guy is affecting us. Everything is all over, but we'll get some more lighting. We're gonna rebuild this XMAXX, so we're gonna try to go over 100 miles per hour. We're gonna get foam tires, and Gone Bananas. That's where we're gonna get the foam tires from. Long range receiver. We're gonna put SR315. We're gonna change the ESC motor pinion. We're gonna have to do something with the spur. We're gonna have to change the diff oil. So diff does have like a thick oil, but we're gonna put something beyond that. Anyway, let me get some tools, and we're gonna put this guy over here, and we're gonna do a lot of speed runs with this guy as well. So here's our XMAXX, pretty big. I'm gonna go get 17. We're gonna pop off all the wheels. We're gonna strip this guy down, take off the body. I'm gonna be using a different body than this one. I did put these guys in, so we're gonna have to remove these little guys. And that's not the correct size. Where is the correct size? It's here. These flaps, they're pretty good for snow. There's one of the flaps. Let me get rid of the other one. There's the second flap. So I'm gonna go get something to remove the tires. This might be a long video, so bear with me. It might have a few parts to it. And we're gonna finish this guy out nicely and be ready for the summer. All 4 tires gotta come off. While we take this whole thing apart, we're gonna look for any bad bearings. We're gonna change those as well while we're inside, and then at the end we'll see how the bearings are on the outside. We'll put oil in those. Got an oil coming out, so there you go. That's how simple it is. Take the wheel off. So what we're gonna do here is, let me move this around. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna flip this over first. We're gonna take off 1, 2, 3, whole bunch of screws over here. Whatever needs to be coming off. Make sure you keep everything in order, okay? A lot of times you will lose order on these bolts. You don't want that. Mainly we're going to be working on the rear end of this truck, and that's where we're going to be changing all the diff oil, and the gearing and everything is back there. So this guy's going to pop open, and what we want to do is we want to take all of our screws, stick them in here. Remember, do not lose track of these crazy screws. This truck is more screws than plastic. There you go. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna flip this guy over. We're gonna remove the cover, the gear cover. It has one little screw right in the center right there. And we're gonna grab our drill. Let's see if we can hold it like that. There goes our screw. And this cover, okay, has two screws, one on each side. Which is probably not gonna go back on because we're gonna be messing with bigger gears. There you go. We're gonna put that to the side. And then we're gonna make a little bag and put all the extra spares in there. So what we wanna do next is we wanna take off, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws. So we're gonna start off by removing all these screws. They're pretty long screws and they get stuck. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go from the bottom, okay, and then we're gonna take off a couple of more screws from right over here. There's one right next to the motor and there's one on this side. So I'm going to try to remember where this screw goes, where this bolt goes, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come back down. We're going to take off the 4 screws that holds the motor down. So we do have another mount for the motor, so these 4 screws has to stay to one place. Now let's come back up. We're like almost getting there, but it's not gonna be that easy. But right now we should be able to lift our motor out of here just like that. There's gonna be pins down there, so make sure you don't lose those pins. And there's 2 pins and a whole bunch of rocks. And my pins are stuck, so they could just stay there. So what we're gonna do next is we're gonna disconnect everything little by little, but let's move on to the next phase because right now we just want to disassemble the rear end of this truck. And where's my drill? The drill is on this side. We got that out, and then we got these 2 screws out. Hell of a screws. These 2 are the same length. The same length. Just these to the side. There's 2 more. Same length. These 4 are the same length. 2 and 2. And then we already took off the other 2 over here. We are almost there. We do need to take off this guy right here from each side. One. And then there's one on this side. Let's see how close we are to getting this rear end off. Almost something is holding us. Something is holding us. I think it's that screw that do not want to come out. Right on this side of the motor in the front here. That guy does not want to come out, so we're gonna have to fish that guy out of there. Okay, it's loose, but it still doesn't want to come out. Okay, let's see what's bothering us now. There's nothing left behind. The whole rear end should just pop up. Come on, magic. Okay, there's 2 more screws over here. There's 2 more. That's what I was missing. Go. And guess what? It's coming apart now. There you go. At least ready to dismantle into pieces. Something is holding us down. So what was holding me down is this 2 screws. They was loose, but they wasn't all the way out, so they was pretty much just sitting in the hole. So what I did was I just yanked it a bit, and the shaft comes out with the initial rear end of this truck. So what I want to do here is, you see these little screws? I want to put these screws back where they belong. That way we don't lose track. And this drive shaft, I'm going to clean it up really nice. And we got 1, 2, 3. We need a few more screws, which are these right here. Okay. So I just want to get one. I need one screw of the same size, which is sitting right here. Just want to keep everything together the way it is, and then we'll pull this guy out. We're gonna put this little guy back to its spot. I'm gonna go put this away, and we'll be right back. So we pretty much got everything apart. There is 2 pins over here, so make sure you don't lose those. And make sure if you're putting it back the same way, so make sure you know where they go. But mine are pretty jammed, so since I bashed this guy so much dirt and went bananas with it, look at the condition of this guy. So I'm gonna have to clean all that up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go blow air on this guy, so at least this is clean. And then we're gonna take this apart. We're gonna try to get that diff out of this. So we are gonna have to probably take off this whole rear end apart. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take off these 2 screws here, 1 on each side. I'm going to take off 1, 2, 3, 4, and this whole, the bar in the back, the bumper should just pop off. Guys probably are thinking, how the hell do I know all this? Well, I don't. I'm just taking a whole bunch of guesses. Well, I did work on my other XMAXX. The key is to keep things in order. Pretty much all the bolts you take off, make sure you keep them in order. You see this? See how that comes out? I was just looking at it, see how it comes out. So that's how it's going to come out. And this guy comes right off. What you want to do is you want to take this guy, stick it right there. You want to take this guy, stick it right there. The 2 and the 2 bolts, and put it away. What we're going to do next is we're going to take off 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts for this cover. Ah, come on, fit. So remember, that was pretty long. Okay. See, there's 2 long bolts, and there all the 2 on this side. So pretty much, if you take this cover off, my hand's gonna be super dirty today. So long bolt here, short, and a short. This baby comes out, put this to the side. This baby comes out. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to fit a pinion here, a spur here, get rid of this, but this one we're not messing with right here. and this little clutch here gotta go. But now we need to take off this guy right here. So this guy is sandwiched between, there's a diff in it, center diff. So it's not gonna come out unless we take off this whole cover over here. But this is all sandwich. It's like a one big sandwich. But I am gonna try to use a little bit of my skill here that might help me get away with not going bananas with a whole bunch of bolts. So we want to take off all the bolts that we know that are going to come off. One. From another angle, that's why you hear that bouncing noise. Maybe I can get away with half the work. Okay, so this guy has to come out. Let's put it, keep it in order. Okay, you can't fall in there, baby. Little guy. So far, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for me, but we need to go in the back. Okay, I might take off this little cover as well. So this guy, let's use our hand tool here. Small little cover here. I just don't want this to be on the way just in case, you know, and then we regret that we didn't take that piece off. Okay, now let's go back here. There's a couple of covers. Let's take off the cover for the rear diff. Rear diff. 2 and 3. 3 for the rear diff cover, but it's not gonna pop open. I think it's not. Yeah, it's definitely not. So I don't think I'm gonna be getting away with anything. So I think it's time for me to just start taking things apart. Mostly it's out of the way. Just this half end of this, the shock towers here are bothering. Other than that, everything is loose there. But I guess the shock towers got to come out. Shock towers are gonna have to come out today. Alrighty. Okay, this guy comes out. This guy comes out. This metal plate's gonna come out. Make sure you put 1, 2. Keep the pins there as well. And then these 2 little guys that goes on the pin. Keep them together. And there you go. Bada bing, bada boom. Everything just fell apart. And we could just leave it like that. We could work just like that. Or if you want to take off these 2 little screws and get the pins out and get the shocks out of the way. But no need. No need. And is there anything else in there that I should be aware of? I guess not. XMAXX is a hard truck to work on. It's not something easy for anybody to do. And I just hope there's no more bolts left that I need to take apart. Bolts here. But the rear end should be apart by now. So I'm gonna gather a little bit of information and let's see how this baby goes. So we'll be right back. So there's 2 hidden bolts right back over here that I could not see. There's one here and one on the opposite side. Once you get those 2 out, everything just seemingly comes right out. And our rear diff cover comes off. rear diff comes out. There it is. Now we need the center diff. If you think you're gonna get the center diff out without getting the half of the rear, you have to take out the whole rear end. Okay, the whole rear end has to come out, otherwise it's not gonna come out of there. So what we're gonna do is now we just need to yank this guy up, and we got a whole bunch of bearings in here to change. Okay, look at this bearing. It's broken and seized in. Ah, come on. There you go. So this bearing is shot. Whoop, there goes my rear end. This bearing is shot. I'm gonna have to go find that little piece down there. So we're gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get some gloves, and we're gonna finish this guy out.